When we think about the act of forgiveness, our minds are perhaps drawn to some rather painful and horrifying images. For example, 2 years ago, a 64-year-old shooter sprayed gunfire on a crowd of 22,000 concert goers in Las Vegas, killing 58 people and injuring 500. 3 years ago, a 29-year-old man opened fire inside Pulse, a gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida, killing 49 people and injuring 50. In 2007, a 23-year-old student went on a shooting spree on the Virginia Tech campus, killing 32 people. And of course, we always remember the children and the teachers at Sandy Hook or Columbine or the Parkland schools, which is the image you see on the screen. September 11, 2001 is a day that many people vent anger and violence against the Muslim community here in the United States in revenge for 2,977 victims who died in a series of 4 coordinated attacks by Al-Qaeda. Many innocent Muslims died in the attacks that day as well. We have difficulty forgiving the evil of slavery and rape and incest and child abuse and other forms of domestic violence. 75 years later, we are still emotionally overwhelmed at the horror of the Holocaust, where 6 million Jewish people and millions of others were murdered due to their ethnicity, race, religion, politics, or sexual orientation. I often keep the 6 million figure in my head, but that's actually not right. 11 million people died in the Holocaust. 11 million, 6 million Jews, 17 million, 6 million Jews, and 11 million other people. 17 million people. And so we wonder, is forgiveness truly possible? And how do we forgive such atrocities that take so much life? And I think the ongoing question is, what is forgiveness? According to psychologists, forgiveness is the willingness to let go and release the hurtful past. The willingness to let go and to release the hurtful past. But we all know too well that this takes time, it takes a lot of work, and it takes a huge amount of understanding. Forgiveness rarely happens instantaneously. When we're wounded, especially if the wounds are traumatic, we carry that woundedness, that brokenness, for a long time. Forgiveness is rather this internal process when we turn to our own free will and we heal our own heart and our mind because we say, it's time. Forgiveness is our decision to no longer suffer, to heal our own heart and our soul. It's the choice to no longer find value in hatred or revenge or anger. And so to forgive means that we channel compassion and gentleness and tenderness and caring that's always within our hearts, no matter how the world seems at the moment. Forgiveness is the way to a place of inner peace and happiness. It's the way to our soul. And And that place of peace is always available to us, always. Like a door that's ready to welcome us in, if for the moment we can't find the key because we've misplaced it with resentments and anger and guilt or shame. Forgiveness is a way to peace. It's a powerful way to peace. And by practicing forgiveness, we create peace not only in our own heart and soul, but in the lives of other people as well, and in the world. The Forgiveness Project, which is coming to Lincoln at Gateway Mall, it'll be in that big space between Yonkers, Dillard's, and Scooters. It'll be a display of stories of people who have been tremendously wounded and victimized, yet have devoted themselves to building a climate of tolerance and peace to move forward with empathy. Today's lesson that you heard Zoe read comes from the Gospel of John, chapter 12, verses 1 through 8. And it's this writer's vision of the story of the anointing of Jesus. And to anoint is, in the biblical sense, is to pour oil or to rub oil on a person or an object. And olive oil was typically used in Jesus' day because that's what they had. And in that part of the world, and we use olive. Fortunately, we are big on olive oil now in this country because it's the most healthy sort of oil. And people used it for healing and cleansing, and was put on the skin after bathing. A guest's feet would be hot and dusty after traveling, after walking miles. 30 miles a day was what was considered, for those walking from place to place, 30 miles was considered a normal day. His or her feet with water and then rubbing them with oil, because if you walk 30 miles, you're going to hurt. You're going to hurt. And so it was at a dinner party that people would offer this act of hospitality by anointing a guest's head or feet with oil. And so this is what's taking place in this story. So Jesus and his disciples were on the way from Galilee, traveling through Jericho and up straight up this hill from Jericho to Jerusalem. That's the only way you could go. You cut through Bethany and Bethany before you arrived on the eastern side of Jerusalem. And so Jesus and his disciples stopped in Bethany on their way to Passover, most likely, as the Gospels indicate. And they stop and have dinner with their good friends, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Only John is the only Gospel that mentions Lazarus, and so we're not sure if that's, we're not sure about that. The event that took place in this home marks a turning point in Jesus' life. And following the dinner party, Jesus will enter Jerusalem, setting in motion the final events of his life. And so this night, this dinner, wasn't an ordinary dinner. Jesus had some idea of what might happen to him in the following week. And so Mary anoints Jesus' feet with perfume, and it fills the house with a fragrance. And her act provides this vivid and sensual reminder that the way of life is marked by generosity and kindness and abundance and compassion. And this act awakens our senses to the fullness of life that Jesus proclaims. Most of us don't feel like we make much of a difference in the world because we are one of 7.7 billion people on the face of the planet. We are in our own corners, our own place in the world, and we're not sure that what we do makes a difference, and when we come to the end of our lives, one of the most common questions that people have before they die is, has my life had any meaning and purpose? Or what have I done in this life? Has it been fulfilling? We do make a difference. Yeah, we do. All of us. We can be a significant force for transformation in the world. Because every loving act, every encouraging word, every offer of forgiveness can transform not only ourselves, but our church, our community, and our world. We can, church, make a huge difference in the life of people. The work of British biologist Rupert Sheldrake on his concept of morphogenic fields proposes that each person, you and I, are a field of energy and information that's rooted in the body but extends out from the body and interacts with the energy and information of other people. Church, what I'm saying is there's more to you than your material body. There's more. None of us is this discrete, separate unit. But we are an integrated system of interrelationships and connections, not only with our families, but our DNA runs through the DNA of most everybody that we are in connection with, and spanning far out from those we have no idea exist. When we stop and view life not as a separate unit or a separate material person, but when we stop and view ourselves as a connection, then there isn't any thought or word or action that's insignificant, because everything that we do and say will affect others. We are always affecting the energy around us in either a positive or negative way. And as followers of Jesus Christ, we choose to affect life in a most positive way. Mary's act of anointing Jesus is extravagant and it's beautiful. And she offers the most expensive thing that she has or owns. And she serves Jesus as Jesus moves toward the cross. And so the question that this story might pose to us is, church, in what way might our actions fill the air and fill our world with the fragrance of God's love? And I think one way of answering that is the embodiment of forgiveness. The forgiveness that Jesus modeled in his life is key to the healing of ourselves and our families and our church and our community. Forgiveness is one of the key things that makes for peace, as Jesus will reveal in his passion. And to forgive means that we say yes to God's vision of the future. That we create this path to peace, this energy field that will bring peace not only to ourselves but to the world. we offer an invitation for you to become a part of a community that seeks to embody the path of Jesus Christ and that seeks to serve in whatever